That is the sound of the jar of names. I haven't heard that for a while. Let's pick out a name. So this podcast is for everyone, including but not excluded to Spudley Dudley. Back in the jar of names you go, although technically that is the other jar of names, but that's the details. Don't sweat the small stuff. So if you want to skip ahead, no. This is a cup of tea in a podcast. This is the cup of tea. And this is the podcast. Now if you want to skip ahead to this week's stuff, where is it? I can't find my list. There it is. If you want to skip ahead, you can go to my comment in the section. Might not be there yet, but you can skip ahead to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's question, and this week's goals. But we're going to start up with the update, and as you can tell, we are still fairly far behind. I think it's 2 weeks, is it not? I think it's about 2 weeks, which is not great. However, I have got some good news. The reason why we are an extra week behind is because the last week I've spent the time editing every single Let's Play video that I have on my computer. The only exception is the ones I've just recorded the other day, and even so I've already done one of those. So basically everything is ready to be rendered. Don't need to edit anything, so I can do that when I'm not here. So that means I don't have to focus on that, which means getting things out should be a lot easier. But like, once this podcast goes up, the next lot of videos of Let's Play wise are going to get uploaded straight away. And it'll be so quick. The only things that might stop me are doing more podcasts and doing the couple of adventure videos as well. But hopefully that should be quite simple, because the next one's going to be quite easy to do in terms of... Oh no! Never mind, I'll get on that later. The next one's going to be quite simple to do, but it's just getting them done. But that's the only thing stopping me now instead of editing stuff, because everything's edited, just needs to be rendered and then uploaded. So yeah, we should see quite a quick turnaround now. Hopefully, that is the plan. That's why I did it anyway. Is there everything else we talk about in update? All edited? Oh yes, and just because I'm recording everything up to date still, the last episode I recorded for Dishonored was the last one. So I've now finished that. It won't be this week, it'll be in a few weeks' time, but I've recorded all of Dishonored now. That's been done and completed, all DLC. But I'm not going to start the next Let's Play until I'm back on track anyway. So that's hopefully going to push me to get it done, because I really want to do this new game. Okay, now we can go on to topics. Let's go on to this week's names. So we've got the podcast right now, that's what you listen to. And then after this, you'll have a Dishonored video called Dead Rabbits. That is a particular gang name from a certain franchise. If you know what franchise it is, then that's great. But it's a reference to that and something that happens within the Dishonored thing because of the gangs and stuff. Then after that, we'll have two Dishonored Dark Chronicle videos. One's called Back to the Future, Guess Where We Go. And the other one's called 88 Miles Per Hour, Guess Where We Go. And then after that, we'll have a Dishonored video called Come Out to Play. Again, different film, but it's a reference to another gang film. If you know what that is, well done to you too. And then after that, we'll have two Dark Chronicle videos. One's called Wood Ease Roundup, and then the other one's called Recruitment Drive. The clue from the first one is the wood part. The other one is Recruitment Drive. Guess what we're recruiting and stuff like that. Then after that, we'll have a Dishonored video, and this one's called Gingerbread Houses. Maybe think about what lived in that gingerbread house in... was it a sweet house in Hansel and Gretel? I forget. I think it was a gingerbread house, wasn't it? Or was it a sweet house? Can't remember. And then after that, we'll have a Dark Chronicle pointing video called Butterfly Hunt. And that's that. Right, now this is the bit I was talking about earlier when I got confused. Last week's hint was white. The word white was hidden within the podcast, spread out throughout it. And the other clue was risen up. So it was white and risen up. So we made a classic white loaf, because obviously loaf bread rises, so that's why that was the hint. This week's hint is not actually for this week's video, Cupboard Adventure. It's actually for the next one after that, but it's hidden in the white loaf video. Pretty simple to find. I'm expecting most of you to find it, but if you find it in there, let me know, because that'll be the hint for not the next Cupboard Adventure video, but the one after that. The next one's quite a good one. It's related to my blog, something that I actually made the blog for, and let's just say somebody said they find blogs boring. I feel like they might like this in terms of the blog. Anyway, so what's next then? It is a community section? It is. Right, so let's start with Mention Monday. So these are the people that commented on the videos since the last podcast. It was quite a while ago, so I think we've got 9 names today, but we'll go through them now. We're going to say thank you this week to Max Ravage, Horia, Bernard Tamir, Dragonlord55511, Poppy von Vathorst, NCS Sounds, Rewind Remix, B-Man Ben, and Annie. So thank you very much for commenting, and then I hope to look forward to really good comments from you next week as well. We had some good ones this week, including one that I fell for, which we'll talk about later. Right, so Q&A now. Then, so we've got 2 questions. We've got one from Horror who says, "Hey JD, since you have been doing so much grinding lately, what is the most amount of grinding you have ever done for one thing? Personally, I have been breaking my record in AQW MMORPG recently. Don't know what AQW is. Arcane something maybe? No idea. Right, so the most I've grinded. So I've never really been much for grinding. I've never really played the games where I can grind too much. But to get a platinum trophy, I spent a proper, full, actual playing time, 100 hours in Final Fantasy 13. Everyone doesn't like it. But it's the only one I've actually finished all the way through, and I did enjoy it. And I managed to get the platinum for it by grinding a hell of a lot, because you have to get all the stuff you need. That took me about 120 hours, I think it was, in the end. So that was the most I'd ever spent on a video game, technically grinding. And then I played Skyrim, and that's like over 1,000 hours in, and I'm still playing. So, yeah. So definitely Skyrim, but that's not really grinding, that's just going through and doing everything. But yeah, grinding-wise, probably Final Fantasy, just because you have to grind things to get certain loot from certain drops and stuff. But yeah, that's that. So, Dragonlord 55511, my Lord of Dragons, says, "Hello, Sir JD262. I have a question and a riddle for you. Question: If you had an evil, demonic version of yourself, what would his name be?" Right. Recently, although you won't see this for a while, recently in Dark Chronicle, I have been having some issues with mimics. I think they're evil. They are my new arch nemesis. So I feel like my doppelganger would be called Mimic, because that's quite funny in certain ways. I would have said Evil John, but Evil John is like another name that I've had for evil people in the past, is more his own entity, not really a doppelganger of myself. So I'm going to go for Mimic. King Mimic. Emperor Mimic. The Mimic. I don't know. Riddle: a trail, a union. A trail, a union, together tied. Come across and you will find. You cannot change the course I'm on. Without me, you cannot travel on. What am I? Hint: it is the object where a train lays on when it travels, and in the USA, during the old days, every time a new one was made, a gold spike would be struck, and then later replaced with an iron one. I'm going to say a railroad? A trail, a union, together tied. Come across and you'll find. You cannot change the course I'm on. Without me, you cannot travel on. I would have said river, judging from the actual riddle. But I'm going to say it's a train track. Let's say that. Right, so what's after this next one? Subscribers now then. So last time we did a podcast, we were 1,330 strong, and we've gone up 2 names this week to 1,332. We welcome to the community Greeny Gamers and Captain RH. So welcome to the community. What were we talking about earlier? If you have an evil twin as well, what are they called? Oh, a cup of tea. Love it. Right, so now we're going to go on to question. Last week's question was social media. How would you like me to use them and stuff? Max Ravage replied with, I'm a lot on Facebook, and honestly, I'd definitely love to see stuff from you on there. But if a page or a private profile where you post stuff for people to see would be cool. Personally, never got on with Facebook, but maybe I'll have a page or something on there in the future. Maybe not. We'll see. Jorge says that he does not follow anybody on. He does not follow social media, so I can do it as I want. Thank you very much, Jorge. I was going to anyway, but thank you very much anyway. Bernard Tommy says, I'm not a regular social media follower. I only have Facebook, and I'm thinking of quitting it. But perhaps you can change my mind. No, I probably won't, because Facebook. I'm not a big fan of Facebook, so yeah, possibly not. I'm talking more about Twitter and like Instagram and that sort of stuff. But yeah. So I can't change your mind for Facebook. I would probably say quit it, because it's not that great, really. Just full of nosy people. Anyway, let's move on now to this week's question is... Well, I'll explain it first, then I'll explain what it is. But E3 is coming up soon. It's around the corner, and I'm definitely on the hype train now. So, on the hype train, choo-choo, out my way. Can't wait. Absolutely looking forward to it so much. Loads of stuff happening. New Assassin's Creed will be there. It's my guilty pleasure, so I'm going to love that. Far Cry 5 as well. Very interesting. The trailer's just dropped for Far Cry 5, and it looks interesting. It's set in, where is it? Montana. And the trailer, I like the trailer. It's very simple. It's just a simple reveal trailer with like a bell going off in a church and that. I love the music part at the end though, the little guitar, little sting. It's like that classic down. I love it. But I don't actually know what is in Montana. I mean, it looks like open plains, judging from the video I'm looking at right now. But what is in Montana? Apart from Hannah. On behalf of myself and the rest of the world, I apologise to anyone from Montana for associating it with Hannah Montana. Anyway, there's another one actually. I'll have a look at that in a second. Yes, but loads of other stuff as well. Red Dead 2, that's just been delayed, I believe. Hopefully see Wild. I'm hoping Beyond Good and Evil 2, we've seen some new posts from that recently, so maybe we'll get some more shadows uncovered from that. Lots of other stuff as well. I can't think off the top of my head. I'm watching a lot of E3 predictions this week. Spider-Man game, that'll be good. What's that game? Death Stranding, perhaps. What's the other ones? There's loads. There's seriously loads. I can't think of any. So I've got a new God of War with Norse mythology. That looks interesting. It's just loads. Absolutely loads. I'll be doing a couple of adventure video for it as well, so bear with me for that. That'll be out just the week after E3. But so much fun going on. So my question to you is, what are you looking forward to at this E3? Because I really want to know. And I love E3. It's the spectacle. That's what I like. And it makes me feel like a gamer too, which is what I love. And that's just me. Everyone has their different opinions. That's my opinion. Anyway, what's next after the question? I need to move on quickly because I've ragged on a bit there. This week's comment. Right. This week's comment goes to an individual who caught me out because I did not read the full comment properly. And I feel ashamed for it. Right. So this week's comment goes to Horia, who says, "Hey, did you ever notice the Geostone has letters carved into it? I stopped there. I saw it as it posted in my emails. I saw it as that's interesting. When I play the game and record Dark Chronicle, I'll spend some time looking at the Geostone and see if I can actually see some letters." Joke's on me. I realised that there's an extra part to this, and it says there's a G-B-U-I-E and there's 3 L's, which spells gullible. Which is unfortunate because I didn't see that part, so otherwise if I saw that, I would have realised I didn't. I just saw the first part. So in the actual episode for Dark Chronicle coming up, can't remember which one it is, but coming up, I actually spend a good a minute or so, staring at a geostone. But joke's on him, because I do believe there is I do see some sort of A on there. Looks like there is an A, so technically, yeah. But yeah, that's why this week's comment, because he got me hook, line and sinker. Even though I'm just moronic and didn't read the whole comment. Okay, so goals now then. Last podcast goal was to start doing details for the episodes. That has not happened. I've been busy doing the Let's Plays, so in a way I completed a goal I didn't have, but I failed the one, so I failed this week. This week's goal is to have the next podcast out by, I want to say Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday. By this Wednesday, which is the 24th? Yes, 24th. That could happen. All the Let's Plays are edited, they just need rendering and uploading. The only thing that might catch me out is the next couple of adventure video and the podcast. We'll see how it goes, because obviously all I'm going to be doing now up until then is doing some college work and trying to get those 2 videos done anyway. So that could happen. I think that's feasible. We'll soon find out. Anyway, now it's time for the outro then. So what film from the last podcast was Piece of Cake. It's a critically hated film. Because it's so bad, and it is too bad. It is really bad. I used to wouldn't say enjoy it. It was like a bit of a guilty pleasure when I was a younger child, and I used to watch it. Was very bad. Going back now, I couldn't even watch it now. But yes, it is very bad. But it's from that film, and it's just always stuck with me. It's like one of the Battlefield Earth. Sorry, it's the film. One of the guys, they're like cavemen, but they're not cavemen anymore. And when they're flying a plane, because they learn to fly planes in 5 seconds. Instead of saying piece of cake because they don't understand it, they go piece of cake. And it's just funny because I find it funny. Anyway, I'm going to finish a cup of tea now because it's really good and I really want one. Oh, it's good. Right. Okay then. But I will say until the next time we meet, farewell. Hopefully it'll be rather soon. But I'll now leave you with what video game? Yep, that's my blood. That's a lot of my blood.